Hey, young world, we are back here once again on Crate Diggers. My name is Verbz, and I'm here with
Steez.
And we are going to do something for the first time on this kind of version of our podcast.
Right.
We've been talking about it for a long time. We had to make sure we got through some thresholds and some technical bits, but we're there.
We're there.
So I'm excited to do our very first full LP reaction.
That's right.
And I'm excited because we already chose it. We already know what it is. Tell me, this one is your record, so tell us about it.
We're going to do kind of a back and forth, choose one, choose another kind of LP choice thing, because I feel like we have a lot of different tastes and a lot of different parts of our collection. And this one stands out to me as an album that I feel like would be a fresh reaction, since this is, we're going to do today's artist is No Worries, and we're going to do the album Why Lord from last year's drop, and it's their second album. And this is a gift that you got for me for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was real fitting because you knew in my Wrapped that it was the number one artist I played, and it was the number one album I played. And one of the songs, Centra, 86 Centra, from that is probably one of the, actually the most song that I put on repeat last year. Just immaculate vibes. Such an amazing, I'm a huge Anderson .Paak fan ever since, Malibu days, way back then. And I was just so excited to get into a longer format of the podcast too, because when we initially thought of doing the podcast, we said, let's do albums, let's do classics, let's do vinyl, let's do the biggest songs and just talk about them because we own them all on vinyl.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a nice way to kind of forward the podcast and the tradition that we do here, and go past one song this time and see our thoughts and feelings on a full piece of art, which is a lot different. So
yeah, and I haven't listened to the full album.
Right.
I've listened to bits and pieces and played some songs through, but I am a huge Anderson .Paak fan, and
Right.
Knowledge is actually, I think probably I was into Knowledge before Anderson .Paak. Knowledge is one of those ones that we've been listening to for a long time, so I'm excited to play this one. Let's grab No Worries and get into it. Let's go, Crate Diggers.
Let's get it.
Crate Diggers.
Okay, so Anderson .Paak, Anderson .Paak.
That's right.
And
Don't forget the
Knowledge
dot.
with an X in it are coming to you for this No Worries. Ooh.
Let's check this out real quick.
Yeah,
Hold up,
let's
show them the sleeve work too.
Let's show all of this.
Keep the sleeve work.
Got some anime going.
Crazy anime sleeve work. Two-sided, both with different artwork on it, all with the full vinyl on one pressing. And it's this incredible looking vinyl. It just blew me away seeing this after I come out of the case right here.
Going with the Japanese style strip on it, real classic look. Even this is how classic they are. The boys printed the interior.
That's just crazy.
Of the cardboard packaging here. So yeah, this is pretty sexy. It is the smoke golden blue version.
Yeah, with the two goats on the front. The double goat.
Double goats. So this one's beautiful. I mean, look at the marble look on it.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I don't usually fall for all this, but it's pretty sexy.
This is the cleanest version of that. It's almost got this sheen to it a little bit. It doesn't look plastic waxy at all. It looks real clean. And you know what? This is actually the first time we're going to spin this vinyl. I've never pulled it out of the case yet. I've only looked at it. So.
Hell yeah. This is the most reaction the Crate Diggers ever have done. I can't wait to get into it. Let's quickly get through. Let's see. Knowledge was part of a crew called Clip Mode that our homie Devin Who is in. Shout out Devin Who.
Love you, Dev.
I haven't seen Devin in way too long. Hope you're doing good, my friend. And we were up on their sound really early on, and I remember, Devin used to make beats as an artist. He called himself Sherpa, I believe, his first his production name
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
and he had a like very hip hop classic flipping sample sound. And I remember one time he told me to come with him. We go to my Jeep, and I load up his CD from him, and he was like, "I just want to play you some of my new shit."
Yeah.
And he put me onto what he sounded like now, and it just the kind of glitch hip hop that they created was so unique. They were so ahead of the game. It was such a cool sound. And so when he connected with Knowledge was an artist that I would just like followed every one of his releases, and he put out all of these, you know, instrumentals, but also like incorporating cool vocal samples.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you could almost like just play the tracks out for crowds and stuff like that. So it was a super cool era of that. But then them coming,
taken in a completely kind of modern and different era where it's like the song itself wasn't really representative of an instrumental or like a hip hop instrumental, but it had the feel and kind of uniqueness of an entire song. And he was nice at it. Devin Hu, Mind Design in the crew, Knowledge in the crew, and Susie Analog.
Shout out Susie.
By now, I don't have to explain if you know indie hip hop and indie music. I don't have to explain those names. Those artists kind of combining and being in the same era is like it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
they have a unique thing that touched on people across the nation and internationally because of how like that took it to a different era that we're still in. We're still in that era of like unique DJs now, kind of more of a K-Tronada and a forefront of that music. Yeah. But that style, I feel like changed the era of like being way too cool into making a hip hop instrumental, into like being yourself and sampling things of all over the entire planet.
That like kind of West Coast lo-fi sound that they help build out. That you know, it really makes sense why he comes together with Anderson on this to like form this. You know, Anderson's out of Oxnard, which is southern California, down in Ventura County, and then you got, you know, Knowledge in LA. You have this very West Coast vibe that they come together on. So let's see if they infuse that. Let's see if they bring some of that clip mode.
Are you familiar with the first album too?
Yeah. I definitely listened to that one quite a bit, and I think I even bought that for you on vinyl as well.
I think so. I might have a copy of that one too.
Yeah. So I think I know this is something that you always love, so I was excited to find it for you. Also, just like these were ones that, you know, can disappear and may never find them again. So
right. I mean, this type of thing rarely happens. To me, it was where it's like somebody now who's like a kind of a major artist in a lot of sense, like getting together with somebody who is held pretty highly in the indie hip hop scene, and that being something that was just accepted as just kind of like an R&B soul artist, but it just has so much weight of indie hip hop in it. And if you know of these people, the journey to get to that recognition is crazy. Yeah. So like hearing kind of the product and how everybody fucks with it and on this like very big level in the indie scene, it just like that's why I drive myself to like buy these products and like be into them and promote them, and you know, because it's a whole different vibe, right?
It is, certainly.
All right, so let's get into these first few tracks on Why Lord.
All right, Crate Diggers, let's get into the reaction. We're going to start out with FallThru.
That's right.
All right.
Wait. It should be ThankU.
Oh, wait. Wrong side. I got the B side queued up. But
ThankU features Dave Chappelle, and he's talking kind of inspirationally. It's real chill. But it's one of those songs where you have to play it to play the next song because it transitions into it.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Thank you. Crate Diggers.
Crate Diggers truly reacting.
Reminds you of some like De La.
Yeah, very much.
If there's one word I've always hated, it's
for sure.
Whenever I see
like Future.
fortunate than me,
IMIB right here from De La.
Go on. I could have been that nigga. And whenever I see someone more fortunate than me, I say, there, because of the grace of God. Go on. Thank you, God.
That's classic knowledge dropouts.
I've always loved how he uses vocal samples, so it's always been my favorite. Ooh, drop it in. All right, what's song 2 here?
We're getting into 86 Century.
Let's go.
The first single.
Niggas the top 5 lister, double S drifter, separate sipping, and you know I came with it. If she cute with her lips shut and tits like missiles, act right, you can get a Nissan Sentra, nickel 9 gripper for
Such a
all
great
you
card
jack
to mention.
grippers. The driver inside
I had a
got license,
300ZX.
they
It
get
doesn't
you.
quite
Get your
flow.
top
Nah,
round
me
licked
neither.
up.
Mine's the
We
6.
survive shit,
Nope.
you can only catch a whiff of. Locked in way before the top 10 when I had the mutton chop shades in the wide brim on the different ways that I came in the game on. When I levitate, grab my sneakers and hang on. Young, but I still got sons in the game, but they not like the one with a dot in his name. If it's locking, it's gotta be knowledge you made it.
What's up with the dot?
When we hop on these
He earned it.
In the lowercase p. I've never understood, but hey.
When the last time that you heard a sound is hard. Compliments and knowledge in the motherfucking. And we can go toe to toe. Anyone you know, younger, older, get drove in the hearses. I just did the Super Bowl halftime show with the goats. Why the fuck would I wanna do a versus? That's like comparing T-ball to the MLB. Y'all out of your league, we not the same person. I be doing this till I'm about 86, old as a bitch, holding my dick, fucking on the nurses.
All right.
All right.
Just getting into those first two. How do we feel about the intro of this album?
I mean, it feels like riding music, you know, like classic stuff to roll around in the car to. So, like, that was what I think that was one of the biggest influences on both of us is rolling around with our friends and listening to music and, like, really getting a feel for things, doing the freestyle sessions, you know,
blazing,
doing what we do. And shout out to the green team.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's, I mean, it just feels classic. It's smooth. It's also in that knowledge way where he always leaves you wanting more. It's like it's a little short.
It specifically like hurts you to end it right there. And you're like, no, that wasn't enough of that beat.
No.
So he only will play you his best beat. This song is 1 minute, 36 seconds. I don't even know if you can release that as like a Grammy nominated. You know what I mean? And it is one. This album is one. But the way he leaves you hanging on to like all of his sample chops and the way he mixes it so smoothly, you can't end it there. So replaying is the only option.
Yeah.
And he's always
run it back.
He's always killed you on that. So for me personally, that was one of my songs of the year right there. That whole locked in way before the top 10, this whole thing of just like him flexing his journey, which took him, you know, some of these kids get popping at 21. He was popping at 29. And his whole thing of just like not stopping, regardless of what people said about what he was making, it just like, I love what he's saying. He's basically saying, he's like, I would do this shit in the oldest, dustiest car. I would do this shit no matter what. I would do it for fun. And I think this is actually one of his top like singles overall coming out, because the way that transitioned from that like nice inspirational kind of comedy verse from Chappelle into like some of my favorite paak verses 2 in a row, and it just knocked me out of the park. So that was pretty much my song of the year right there.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why you keep running it back too, because you know, every once in a while I see those lists of like the top songs that are under 2 minutes and they'll drive you crazy.
Lil Pump.
Like, yeah, one of my favorite is Earn from Childish Gambino.
Earn.
It's like 1 minute and 10 seconds, and you're just like, oh God,
That's
just
one of
give
his
me
best
more
songs,
of
right?
those. Yep. Also, the same way that, you know, Pete Rock would give you 10 seconds of a beat that you'd want to hear another
On the intro
2
or
minutes
outro.
of. Yeah.
Yep.
So I've always had affection for that type of production and way that you put your albums together. So
For sure.
let's get into song 3. That'll be Move On.
Let's go, Move On.
Move on. We'll move on ourselves.
Another transition into the same. The vocals from the end flip into the next one.
Some
And
California Spanish guitar.
And that's a knowledge staple, is that tracks flow together.
Yeah,
They need to be cohesive in a way that isn't just by titles, but like sound too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a throwback.
Well, because he would almost
Like
because he would
Prince
always put out like mixtape stuff where it was like everything kind of flowed into each other. So not surprised.
Right, it's like a skill he worked on.
You just approach it more like a DJ.
Oh sure, yeah. I like the looped vocal in the back, like being a part of the beat.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's not the most typical knowledge style beat.
No, it's like way more of a modern guitar sound. That's why I'm also like, I don't know specifically now. A lot of his songs seem to have recorded artists doing live instruments too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell where the sample starts and ends, because it was always hard to tell with knowledge, which is a dope thing about indie hip hop. Maybe you shouldn't know. These horns there.
Somebody pray for me, devil get away from me. Open up the gates, let me go back to a safe place.
It's so chill.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
Now it's a cut, but the bopability, I don't know.
It's more of like
It's a groove.
you don't play this live. Kind of thing.
Oh, we finally are gonna be going through tracks that aren't just like singles. It'll be fantastic.
Because it's not just something you try and sell. That's a whole thing, right?
Adjusting our bopabilities.
But like that's the whole thing, is like, if you have an actual physical single to sell, doesn't it need to be exciting?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It can't just
For
be
sure.
this. But this is valid too. It's like, this is knowledge getting into a whole different lane right here. It sounds
Well, it
great.
has like some jazz to it.
I think that's a guitar loop he's hitting there. Da-na-na-na. But that sounds like a live sax. Also could be the record. The dude is too good. He's too good.
Super smooth with it.
All right, let's keep it moving on into KeepHer by
KeepHer.
paak and Thundercat.
The other thing that I always notice is they're very particular, again, with the punctuation, where all the words.
They don't like spacing.
Yeah, no space. No
Except for Where I
space.
Go is the one, because that has.
We're
that
space
HE.R.
gods, but there ain't no space.
Yeah, no space.
This has some J Dilla to it.
For sure.
It's
Oh yeah,
the
you get the
slow
Thundercat
bounce.
vocals too. When he does his layers, sometimes he kind of sounds like Pharrell too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm already fucking with this so heavy.
You drove the knife through my pride. There's no
Such a
more
great
words to say,
vocal tone.
It's insane.
but
This is one of one. There's nobody else.
how you gon' compare me to this guy? He don't love you the way you don't look good in that Honda.
That vocal inflection, the only other person that has a little bit of it is Dodgr.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, you know, they work together. Shout out the last Artful Dodgr, one of the greatest.
We love you.
You said you needed peace, then spent the week in Greece. Phone off, you said you was asleep.
What's up with
I know you
Mykonos?
was getting your cheeks beat.
Hey,
Jet lag when you show up. Calling in with a show.
I like that he always plays with his flow. It bounces all over the place.
But you know that the money won't keep up.
It's maybe every 4 bars he's doing a different little bounce to his vocal.
Double C's on a sleeve.
It's such an advantage to be a rapper singer, like Smino, like him, like Mos Def.
I mean,
like
I've always
Lauryn Hill.
argued that every rapper wants to be a singer.
Yeah, but I specifically like Mos Def, Lauren, him. There's this like effortlessness. Smino too. It's from going to either one. Not listening to what he's doing now.
I even, like, on a local level, my boy Wavy Joseph here in Portland was the headliner for the thesis.
Crazy.
He's got the raps, he's got the vocals, he's the sing tone, he can do the production. Hell, you even grabbed the
advantage.
guitar.
Huge advantage because your confidence is such on a different level.
Well, and then you don't have to think about it. It's just happening so naturally, and so everything you do on stage is what you get to worry about, what you think about. The vocals ain't no problem.
No. He's so funny, man. He's so funny. When he showed up. This whole like lavish situation of the money won't keep up. He just like keeps saying like how, yeah. See, it's too late for a prenup. It's like it's like a bad situation no matter what with this girl. It's like an unusually long knowledge song, but when he seems to have like more major artists, he likes to do like 4 or 5 minutes. Like on the,
Let it bounce.
yeah. I'm a huge fan of Thundercat. He's the same way of smooth and funny.
Yeah.
Like that. I heard him talk about learning how to do like way sicker vocal layers when he met Flying Lotus. Oh yeah, that drops instantly into Distraction.
All right, so we got track 5, Distractions, coming up.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to say about this one before we go?
This one feels a little bit more like MoveOn, where it's like kind of like a new lane for Knowledge again, going for like this kind of like this smooth R&B-ness that he doesn't necessarily always tap into, but his drums and the way he kind of flips natural drums into sounding real, that's like front and center with this one. So I really fuck with this one too.
Distractions, let's go. Crate Diggers.
Oh, there's some bangers all over this album. So
Again, a little more Spanish guitar coming in.
yeah. I mean, he's like very laid back. I remember with the vocal take on this.
I mean, pretty California to add some Spanish guitars.
Oh, for sure.
This is definitely an album you can just like go through your day listening to.
The first time I played it, I know I listened the whole thing through. I was like, oh, I fuck with this single. It's so heavy too. Even some of the low key joints on here are just like really listenable, like replaying. But when it finished, I was like, okay, where's the next track? And I was like, oh, what? And it was within like, it's under 50 minutes for sure. And it's the whole thing just runs through. But that's kind of like this real nice feeling because they flow into each other. So if you were to just press replay and restart it, that's a whole playlist almost. You get in those transitions too. I felt actually even first time listening that this album was even better, like as a cohesive thing than the first one. But it like, I don't know if you can top just how much people love that first one.
Right.
And there's remixes, there's an instrumental vinyl, there's like 3 versions.
Transitions.
It goes into Lookin, which is just 50 seconds, kind of like. I like it. He like, look at the minute times on all these. Like it can just go wherever, you know. Which is kind of, that's
that
Knowledge's thing.
Yeah.
That's Knowledge's thing is like, don't make him make a beat that's too long.
I really like this beat right here. You don't really hear violin samples like that.
Ooh, whatever that vocal
Could even
sound.
be a cello. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's like what P-Rock would do to you. He's just like, here you go. You're going to listen to this for like 30 seconds, but I'm not going to have anybody rap over it ever.
that's always it.
All right. We're about to go into the biggest song from the album. Just where I go
It slides right in.
with H.E.R.
Again, more Dilla vibes.
the pumping, sample, compression.
And that type of sample. Let's go.
She wanna know where I'm going and killing me. She say I'm so terrible.
One of my favorite things I heard from Paul Rust, I think, comedian, improviser, is he was talking about how with vinyl, one of the best things about it is it gives you a second to pause and reflect.
Oh, sure.
After you listen to your first half of your record, so we'll pause and reflect after the first.
That's fire. We'll do that on the full albums.
Shout out Paul Rust, a silly motherfucker.
I had to tell you something before I go. I left a little something special in the envelope. I had to mail you something, tell me when it's at the door.
I always love it when he hits this little groove right here.
I had to share it with somebody that I really trust. So when we celebrate, I'ma hit you up. I had to go and find
He's
a running mate.
fantastic with dropouts.
Kills. This verse from H.E.R. is crazy. It was such a cool thing for like again, like I was explaining, like for this like super indie in a way group to get like probably the biggest feature in R&B right now, which is H.E.R. She's got a great tone. More layers there at the end is nice. The high notes.
That you my motherfucking cinnamon apple. Know that when it come to loving, I'm a natural. Know how much it hurt me, that's in the past though. When I'm all alone, better not be with that hoe. Oh, I had to deal with your sides and your pieces.
So natural, she doesn't have to try.
I promise that I'm trying not to be on defense, but I'm reminded of it every time she leaves.
Oof, those runs are crazy. No, she killed that. She killed that whole thing. I like the motherfucking cinnamon.
So this is Where I Go, song 7.
You can kind of already, by the time you're at this part of the album, you can kind of already feel what the vibe is. It's like real honest. It's real smooth. It's like it's not afraid to be softer. It's like it doesn't kind of beat a lot of the kind of aggression and swagger that regular Anderson .paak songs do, but the cut is very apparent, like where we're at, and you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we're now rolling into Daydreaming.
that's right.
Got any thoughts on this one?
Yeah. There's another big single. He dropped this as kind of a teaser for an album actually existing, because for a while we didn't know whether they were going to continue or have a sequel or do the group anymore. And when they did, Knowledge, who's a streamer, a gamer, he's crazy involved with that side of things too, on Twitch and elsewhere with Street Fighter. I just fuck with Knowledge heavy.
I know he's a Street Fighter. Who's he run? Who's his main?
I'm not sure. I know he's a big into streaming it and watching it and looking like he knows the highest level. Anyway, this was like a video that there was a bunch of videos that were coming out that were GTA related, where they were doing like artists and people like generate the perfect like what they would look like in GTA, and then doing music and music videos. This one was like a full-fledged music video that was done in GTA with paak as the protagonist, and this was the accompanying song. And the guitars and everything again don't sound much like Knowledge, but you can, when the beat comes in and when everything comes together, it's very GTA, it's very San Andreas. Okay. It hits in that way, and it kind of like woke up everybody like, oh, they're back.
Hey, love to SoCal. Let's go. I like the slow drive to it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I've definitely heard you playing this one a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's a big song. Like sound wise.
Yeah.
Definitely reminds me of GTA, like sun driving shit.
Has the whole San Andreas vibe.
Right. It's got some sick 80s stuff
80s
to
vibe.
it, though.
Definitely we could hear Laws Spoken,
Yeah.
Green Team, making this beat.
Official. You know, he's probably one of the best artists in the whole industry at just being like, yep, I'm doing this era of music now.
Yeah.
Just rock with it, because like that album with him and Bruno, and his own stuff is completely different. Sometimes it's just straight up funk, and then this is so different. It's like R&B hip hop with 80s.
80s rock.
Yeah. He can go anywhere with his styles. I feel like.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
It's nice to have like this rock style and shit. Whew.
It's gotta be samples.
Yeah. Because it sounds like somebody playing over the top of it.
Says that
Most
got,
likely.
in the writers, it's got Stanley Clark and George Duke. Shout out George Duke from episode 1 of Crate
right.
Diggers.
Lakers producer.
Got to be a sample that's been flipped here. Yeah, Lakers producer, great.
Yeah, I like how it's kind of like this nice, like, predictable format for the song, but it just couldn't be vibier. Like, never really heard a beat like that. It has its own kind of like West Coastiness to it. West Coast 80s rock. It's a whole different thing. Oh, I love this. This one's got it's called From Here, and it's got Snoop. Deal
Straight
double.
up soul.
Yep. There's some real sick high notes in this one. Some falsetto. Oh, October London. Okay.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
When they turn the lights low in the club and it's just a silhouette.
Almost sounds like a bar closing up and people putting their glasses away, cleaning up the last of the glassware.
Yeah, yeah. It's got that visual for sure.
We could be a song. How about it? Forget about it. Today's a new day. The club about to shut down, girl. Don't leave me this way.
I mean, no one in hip hop would touch
It
this
is
shit.
shutting down the bar.
Shut it down right there.
Shut it down.
Yeah, nobody's in his lane. This isn't. Innocent Back is in competition with nobody doing this lane.
I gotta lean back for this one.
Yep. I love a repetitive harmony, like as a hook or a sample. It's something I always look for. That like if the just like this. If the same hook just keeps going, where do I go to? It just doing that. I love finding that for my samples too, because it kind of makes you feel like you got a group singing your hook on your song.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Shout out Knowledge.
It's a little after 3. I wish I had somewhere to be.
It's a lot of talk singing from like the rest of the song now, and it's good. It's like bluesy.
Roll the windows down. I hope the rain hide my tears. Bitch, where is the love?
Writes a good heartbreak song.
You done locked the door and
It's like the most pimpin' heartbreak song.
Yeah, exactly.
waited on me.
It's almost like not even genuine. Where? That shit I get stuck in my head.
They say the worst thing that can happen to a man is coming home to an empty bed. But I beg to differ. I say the worst thing that can happen to a man is if his lady gets up and changes the locks and puts all his clothes on the front door. And now she's nowhere to be found.
This is freestyle, you know it.
But also, this is like, it reminds me of soul records where
Right?
they would have like the guy with the deepest voice at the end of the song start telling you how
Who's
he
been through
really
some shit.
feels.
Been through some shit. And they'll tell
Girl, you
about
know you
heartbreak.
can't treat me like that.
Yep.
Where we going from here?
Yep. Reverb over the top of that.
Where do we go from here?
And then the girl says,
What do you
that's always some,
I don't know. I don't know where we go from here.
it's always a skit.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I think it's great though. Like the way they made that song, I feel like the layers are sick because you don't get a Snoop verse.
No.
You get some talking.
And you know what? Like, maybe that's all you need.
It used the format great to me. In my opinion, it's like it's not making fun of that format of the song. He always does this. He'll go back to an era where there might be some comedy in the record, but it doesn't feel disingenuous to wanting it to sound like that, or like it's not corny.
Well, our pause and reflection here is that first side is some riding, grooving, chilling, smoothing.
Yep.
All the way coolin'.
That's
Who
for-
are you fooling?
Yep.
Type of music.
He said it twice. That has all your like radio shit on it. You got the 86 Centra, you got the Thundercat song, KeepHer, you got Where I Go with H.E.R, you got Daydreaming, the one that's the GTA single, you got FromHere with Snoop Dogg. And I feel like that's where he kind of keeps it, is like, I'm going to give you a real A side of a record with all my features. And now, if you want to play the whole thing as a project, as a whole concept, that's when you let the rest of the album ride out, which is just way less features across the whole thing. There is actually one with the last art for Dodgr that we'll get into
Hell yeah.
at the end
Shout
of this.
out
So.
Dodgr. All right. Let's kick off this first
get it.
one called FallThru.
Yes, sir.
On side B, this Crate Diggers react to Why Lord.
Why Lord? It does kind of have a Why Lord feel to it. Like,
Girl, that pussy like a sweet plum wine. I've been all damn night. You gon' make me tell
do we
you
run that back?
something.
Let's try that.
I forget that this is probably one of my like personal like second favorite here. Let me turn it up a little bit.
Girl, that pussy like a sweet plum wine. I've been all damn night. You gon' make me tell you something. Something you're gonna remember. I'm gonna have to change my flight. 'Cause I can't.
When I'm gone.
You gon' have to quit your job today. I think I'm gon' have to pay your car note, babe. We can skip the bar. I just want you.
This sounds like a beat I would like aspire to make.
It's definitely, I was going to say, this is the most Steez style beat that we've heard so far.
It sounds like something off of Bless that I dropped.
Leaving that like maybe vocal sample almost sounds like an instrument there.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, this is a bop. This one's high on the bop abilities.
I feel like it's a standout song. And there's this like, oh, but when you're good. Then he starts doing that and it's like real feel good.
Something you're gonna remember.
When I'm gone. He does a lot of like vocal layering.
And call and response to himself.
Like a sweet plum wine. I've been all damn night.
Again with the dropouts.
There's a song called Like This. And it's,
Yeah, like this.
oh my God. That's this and FallThru, like they blend. There's just so much a commitment to like kind of feeling 70s too with the whole recording.
Well, and I
love
can
it.
hear the knowledge now where that flip is it's simple and clear and
Dilla-esque.
clean and Dilla-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And real pumpy. He likes pump compression. If y'all have never heard of that, it's the way you make samples kind of sound like they're kind of hitting at the same time as the drums. So Knowledge has always made something sound even more classic with his mixing.
So this is Battlefield.
Yep, let's get into it. Now it's more of the storytelling shit. Paak always sounds like he's been around so many types of individuals, and he was like raised on some real ass like big family vibes. And his morals always stand out to me when he does songs and like story songs. It sounds like he's been around people that put him on to like the way to live right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds like a great dude. That's what he does. Goes into his soul voice.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost like a different person.
That sounds like kind of a divorcee song. He's really attacking each song though. And he doesn't do this voice on every song.
No.
He's like, what does this sample sound like? I'm gonna vibe into that sample. I feel like he's been killing the whole album.
For sure. It's a cool combination. Like they come together really cleanly.
Yeah. It's like a two-way street of inspiring each other to do like really well.
I mean, like we always talk about when an MC hears that beat, you know, it's like there's a magic moment happens if you hear it and it's yours.
It's for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can, since he's a rapper singer, he's taking whatever he fucks with in either genre.
Right. It's
like mixed emotion Battlefield. It's a cool concept. It's definitely some grown music. He's always been grown music. That's nice.
La 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 la.
Feeling that sample a lot. That's a fire sample. As every other one has been.
Let it ride.
He always gets the most out of his features too. As far as like, they do more layers with him. They do more sections with him. He has bridges in his songs, and it's the features like seem to be displaying a lot of talent instead of trying to be like overly cool.
Easy transition.
Getting into HereIAm.
Song 3 on side B.
Yes, sir.
Bring the organs in. Take them to church.
What'd your mama say? Yeah, he's going through some shit.
I'm gonna go to LA next month. Hopefully it's still left.
Yeah, we praying for you.
I guess I was there the other day, but I was just in LA
For a second.
I know it's looking like I might be really doing things, but I ain't doing shit. But looking on your page, I see you meditating, thriving, and going places.
Don't go following people's pages after they're gone. Don't go looking.
It's funny the little morals he sends out here, man.
Every time they see me, they saw you. Now everybody asking me, what the fuck did I do? Shit, I was actually cute together. Bro, I already told you. Raising your voice. Why are you singing it up again, bro? It's a was actually the first time I brought it up. That's what I'm
All right,
saying.
we're rolling into Out the Way.
That's what we're here for. Okay, well, I fucking told you.
Ooh, back into the 80s vibe. Those drums.
It's kind of a wild rhythm too. It's a little loose.
Right. Well, and that's
knowledge.
Knowledge and clip mode.
Ray Khalil's on this one. She has a dope voice. Really, really nice voice. She attacks that shit.
I was gonna say, I always love it when an artist matches the artist that they're working with, like somehow connects to their vibe.
I forgot she stole this song. God damn, she killed it. I love the use of new slang to like feel classic, saying out the way and OD.
Putting it
Good
together,
term.
right? Yeah.
I think it's difficult to do too because sometimes I hear a piece of slang, like, I don't know, like hit different or something like that, and it's like, oh, well, there was a specific year where that was the phrase, and then outside of it, when you hear it again, you're like, ah, that's
We had like SZA capitalize on it. She was like, "I'm gonna jump in and grab it."
right. Not just like specifically that one, but like just like using a phrase, but like trying not to corny code it and like keep it in that era. I feel like it's difficult to do. That's why I like throwing it on like this like experimental 80s throwback beat. You know, it's dope to hear like the use of new slang over this. They're really on some 80s shit too. I like it because they didn't do anything like that on the first album.
I mean, those eras flex in and out, and also I feel like the sound that Laws has had since we first heard of has now like come into fashion and has like the sampling, the 80s songs. Like that wasn't something most people did.
Not for any major releases. Whew. We're dropping into SheUsed. No spaces, Grant.
Yeah, I like a mixtape. I'm stoked on a mix.
It's fire.
Feels like, it has that classic soul to it.
Kind of like a Jay-Z sample.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the pitched up song.
Yeah, it's almost Chipmunk soul.
He does this the whole song until like I think it's like the end. It kind of goes back. He's really mastered the blues lines.
But once I bust my nut, I feel so unattached. Told my driver honk the horn when it's 30 past. Said I'd be back, but won't be mad at this time.
We moved out of the soul world.
That's why you have knowledge, though, right? It's so you can rap on this kind of shit.
Right.
This might be knowledge is my favorite type of shit because it's so experimental. Just flexing how cool the sample is at the end of the song. If you wish you found it.
Go get something better, crate diggers.
Do the knowledge. Very Dilla. It went very like sad, stringy. Oof, crazy. This one's called More of It.
You know Magic City's closed on Sundays.
Is it?
It's fucked up. I was only in Atlanta for one day. It was Sunday night and all the strip clubs were closed.
You didn't get the lemon pepper luge?
Nothing. Nothing.
Why else would he go during a game? I love that. His callback to this line is always so fun. This is definitely your like closing shit out of the album and kind of like reflecting on how dope shit is actually, even though you've been through it.
True.
It feels good in that way.
It's the comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever leave a voicemail on no rapper's cell phone.
They'll get you forever.
After the Dodgers game.
Never meant to do you no harm, I swear it. Never meant to bring you no problems. Anything would let you down.
I think this is the Never remix. Charlie Wilson.
Shout out the Gap Band.
This is so nicely throwed. This is the one I remember the least. It's crazy. I start like, oh. Oh, DistantSpace. This one features the last Artful Dodgr.
Shout out our love, last Artful Dodgr.
He's the best.
Love you, Dodgr.
Can't wait for that new music.
Truly one of the most impressive artists I've ever known.
It's ridiculous that we knew in Portland. That is. That one really comes in nice. A whole different groove. Good soul records have this type of song on them.
So smooth, angelic, beautiful. I love that one.
Her falsetto is crazy. I love hearing her. She's always so sick in the background too with the reverb.
All right, so we only got a couple left on this here. WalkOnBy coming up next. This one you said you had Earl Sweatshirt on, right?
Yeah, it's a real different vibe, and Ray Khalil again with some vocals on the end of it.
She was really dope the first time, so let's hear this one.
Yes, sir.
Let's close out the album, guys. Crate Diggers React. Let's go.
My lord.
Definitely feeling like an end of the album wrap up. Sing it out. Tell all the people you love them on the way out the door.
Some really, really good verses on this.
Oh yeah. This has like that J. Cole vibe on it.
Yeah. A little Jay-Z song cry.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Damn, I remember.
That's right.
I remember he said that.
When they ask me how I'm doing, I feel guilty inside. Niggas dying. Meanwhile, I'm having the time of my life. When you walk on by,
That was a great verse.
you got shades to hide your eyes.
All right, so we got Earl Sweatshirt. Got next verse here.
I love his like delay with the reverb on the vocals and shit. It's always so clean.
Mad I made lucrative ties, you in a bind.
The classic
So
dropout.
you feeling tight, exuberant heights, the flight long, I'm too busy fried for you and your plight.
Using exuberant in a rap. That's so Earl.
Rhyming like a drunken master. Just slurring, slopping.
Removed from the stripe, you was in tune with our rise. I rose, I suppose what you doing with your nose in a white ain't nobody business but your own. Old niggas different, that's just how it goes.
Earl's just so sick. Earl's just crazy.
He's a great feature.
Definitely like enhances your narrative of your album if you hire him to be on the song. Like it's always like beneficial to like whatever the topic of the song that you wrote. He's amazing with emotions.
Yeah.
He's so sick at describing stuff like that. Kind of like a poet. That energy again.
Does a great job at like matching the right vibe for the song.
And that pitch is crazy.
Yeah, the other verse was so different than this.
They're like focusing on like doing like a painful vocal, and it sounds great.
For sure.
Yeah, there's like the entire album has this dope, airy delay stuff on all the vocals, and it just like it ties the sound together as an album, which is a nice thing to do if you're not really even thinking about that as you're making all the songs on an album, like as an artist, but the producer version of an album thinks about that the whole time.
Well, yeah, when you do a collab,
so cohesive.
Yeah, like when you guys are collabing, you guys are making it together. There's that like progression towards like this is the sound. You know, you're doing it together, bringing the jazz back.
I feel like that's a perfect example of two people who can get on the same wavelength and create something that is definitely timeless.
This little outro was called EvnMore, by the way.
That was just a little beat outro to in the album, and kind of ends on a little jazzy note for you. Like we said, that WalkOnBy is exactly, but that WalkOnBy was kind of the fitting final words for it, and yeah, I feel like it's a nice sequel. It kind of has all these layers to it. It's deep in a way. It's got some dance tracks here and there. It's got some West Coast, some 80s, some like new neo soul kind of vibe to it, and a lot of it has like a 60s, 70s soul format, which is like being done traditionally, like the talking from Snoop Dogg and all that. So after listening to this for the first few times, it's such a short album, I was just like, yeah, that was a good album. And then getting more into it as like driving music, just hearing like the layers, like I'm saying, the vocals and all the choices that they made. This is one of my favorite albums of last year, and just so happy it's on vinyl and to own that too. So shout out to Verbz.
Yeah.
How are you feeling on this one?
There's a real lightness to it all. It's very airy and flowing, and it feels definitely like something you ride around to or do like some chores to, or you know, like
smoke to.
Yeah. Play some video games and have it playing running in the background. I feel like this is one of those things that I love where collaborations bring something out of each other. Like an artist pulls some of the style from the other artists they're interacting with and working with. One of my favorite examples of that is with Calvin Valentine. Whoa, losing headphones. But with Calvin Valentine and Ryan Beatty, that album Boy in Jeans, and even WalkOnBy even has a feel of a kind of Ryan Beatty, Calvin Valentine type of song too.
That's the nature of the songs for sure.
But also, I think that's another reflection of them drawing out what's best in each other's style and like connecting to that and making that work. Like Knowledge, like you're talking about with like how things flow track to track. Knowledge clearly is like in his headspace to do that, and this is already how he produces albums. So I think
that's how his projects are.
Right. And so then you just integrate that with the style and the ease of Anderson. You get this very cohesive, like connected piece of work that feels like a complete work instead of just in an era where we're like single heavy and we're really just focusing on like finding one or two viral songs. This is an album that feels like an album that like connects track to track.
Yeah, that's why I kind of ended up feeling like I got way more out of it than I did when I gave it my first run through or second run through, just kind of playing through singles, because the cohesion and the song messaging, if you go through even the song titles alone, you kind of get the vibe of this journey, and it's like a truthful journey that has moments of like loss and gain and reflection, and it has kind of a soul format in the way of like an actual old school soul album used to go, and connecting that so easily with, like I said, slang, sampling, new age like reverb and use of effects, and like coming off in all different sorts of styles. Like I really feel like this is kind of one of Paak's more like all together projects, and at the same time it's just another flex for how many good projects Knowledge releases production wise too. So
constant. His production rate is massive. Wow. So this is our very first LP edition of Crate Diggers React. How'd you enjoy it?
I think this is a sick way to go about kind of dissecting things that either one of us really likes, the other one really likes, the other one hasn't really heard, the other one has really heard, or even if we both have, going back through it in a new era and kind of seeing how we felt about the quality of everything and how it feels. It's a nice like balance for the show. I feel like it's going to be like real dope videos on this. Like you get a much cooler perspective on like what we think about full pieces of art, which is what I love doing, is talking about it.
Well, I think with vinyl, with LPs especially, they were meant to be played and like played with a group and talked about and thought about, and so I think this is the perfect way to reflect and react to the music. And also this, like, there is nothing else distracting us here. We don't have other, video games. We're not doing other stuff. We're not in a club. We're not wherever else.
No phones.
It's just sitting here really absorbing the music, and so that's the way to react to it, I guess.
Do you have a favorite track or anything that you can?
Yeah, I think the standout from I think my favorite is probably Daydreaming. I think it's probably my favorite track. That's just like, it's so classic, and the way that it blends the 80s style with what Anderson typically does, and then blends what Knowledge brings. I feel like it's just a cool cohesion of everything coming together in a cool way.
Yep. I fuck with 86 Centra. Again, some of my favorite verses he ever had. But then FallThru on the beginning of side B. It just like, because it's like the song Like This, that's one of my all-time favorite indie hip-hop songs, is Like This. It's just a random song on the first album, but for some reason it's something that just like, the violins, the sample, the use of hip hop and the use of rap and singing, it just like, it connects with me so heavy. And rapping and singing is personally some of my favorite stuff to listen to. It just connecting melody and hip hop is like so natural, I think, for the best like people that do it. So again, I think this has been such a dope project, and it's dope to get into longer vinyl. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy it too.
We could get into bopability of each track, but we'll save that for another lifetime.
I like those single tracks. That's cool.
No, we'll keep bopability for the singles. So, but bopability still applies. Make sure you understand, and you tell us about the bopability of these tracks out here. And also go and like and subscribe. Follow us on all the platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, wherever else. And you can also... It
really helps us out when you follow. Leave a comment, share the videos. We love getting feedback. We've been talking to people we know, people we don't know, and it's been a dope project so far. So can't wait to keep going.
Absolutely, I'm excited to do it. Thank you so much to We Out Here. This is the WOM creative space that we're recording in. Thank you to Mac and Amber and Alex and everybody else who's in this space, and thank you even to Nick for letting us in.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
I can't wait to come do the next episode. So
Yep.
come catch us next time on Crate Diggers. Let's go.
Peace.
Crate Diggers.